This is a parable that Jesus is using, and he's to the need to get busy for God. That's what he's talking about. He's pointing us to the need to get busy for God, not sometimes, but all times. That's right. Because you're going to find that some people are going to be unprepared. I was on my job, and when I went to this backyard of a new home that I had to go to, I looked and I saw this big giant generator. I think it's the biggest one that they have for homes, where it's a big house, it's a mansion, so it has to have a big generator. That generator is to run the house when the power goes out. Right now we're in hurricane season. So it tells me that this home is preparing themselves. That if the power goes out, and me, myself, I have to go home and take my key and crank my little generator up. So that if something was to happen pertaining to the storm, hurricane, all I would have to do is turn the key, because I did all of the inspections and made sure that I won't have to lose anything. I could have some lights, I could have microwave, I could have my refrigerator, I don't have to lose the food that I've worked hard to put in the refrigerator. I don't have to lose anything. Because it says that we're in hurricane season, it says now that every individual household should be right now getting prepared. That's right. You should be able to call someone that maybe you may have to get out of this area. You can call someone and you can move before the storm gets here. You're making preparation. That someone would say, okay, all you do, just let me know. We have the room. We're waiting on you, that you can come on in. We're making preparations for that time. And likewise, Jesus is telling us also that we should be making preparations spiritually. That's right. He says, because where your treasure is, listen at that, there your heart will be. If your treasure is money, that's where your mind will always be, on money. Trying to get money, which pierced themselves through with many sorrows. That's right. You know how people are now. We're moving at such a high, fast pace. This world is just taking us, that roller coaster, that Zephyr, amen, the raging Cajun of life. It's taking us for a ride at a high speed. And people are, they're screaming and they're throwing, they can't catch their breath. They're catching heart attacks. Amen. Some are falling out of it because this life is racing us at a fast pace. Many people are not hearing God. So Jesus said, let your loins, verse 35, be girded about, and look at this, your lights burning. You should have a light on the inside of you that should be burning right now. What that means is you should be living in the hope of the imminent return of Jesus Christ. That's my light. Yes, I go to work and all those different, but you know what? At the end of the day, at the start of the day, in the middle of the day, my light is burning. Yesterday we were watching, and all of the graduates and people were just traveling and out in restaurants and everything. It was a beautiful day. But that day, they could have turned just like that. Just like that. Even now, it could just be sudden destruction right now. Watch this. He says, and you yourselves unto men that wait for their Lord, when he will return from the wedding, that when he cometh and knocketh, they may open unto him when? Immediately. That means that that person is waiting. That person is waiting on God, that whenever he comes, you can just open up and say, I've been waiting on you, Lord. I knew you were coming, but I didn't know what time you were coming, but I'm waiting on you in this life. Let me go further. He says, blessed are those servants whom the Lord, when he cometh, shall find watching. Verily I say unto you that he shall gird himself and make them to sit down to me and will come forth. And look at this. He's going to serve them. He says, and if he come in the second watch or in the third watch, he says, blessed are those servants. Now, the Jews had 3 watches in the night. 3 watches in the night were from 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Then from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock. Then from 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock. That's 3 watches in the night. If you notice, when Jesus says the second or the third watch, that's the 2 latest parts of the night. Whereas, amen, the Romans had 4 watches of the night. They had it from 6 to 9, and then from 9 to 12, then from 12 to 3, and then from 3 to 6. Jesus is dealing with the Jews watching the night, which is from 10 at night to 2 in the morning, then from 2 in the morning to 6 in the morning. Amen? The 2 latest times of the night. You know, my moms would always tell me, Calvin, stay out of those streets. Look what she says. The devil is busy late at night. Anybody moms ever told him that? My mama told me that. Calvin, the devil is busy. And a lot of things that happened to me, that's right, happened to me in the wee hours. You know, because we love darkness. You know, the club didn't get jumping until what time? Boy, nobody don't want to say that. Don't nobody want to say that. Boy, they've been saved so long, they done forgot. The club don't get jumping until about 11 o'clock. Wait a minute now. Jesus is from 10 to 2, then from 2 to 6. So if I'm in the club, am I watching and waiting on Jesus? Uh-oh. That's the time, because our deeds are evil, we want to go out then in the dark, in the night. We're not even thinking about Jesus at that time. Amen. So look what he says. He says, if he shall come in the second watch and come in the third watch and find them so, blessed are those servants. Now listen, blessed are those servants, not universalism. He says, blessed are those servants who've been watching and waiting on God, who has given that old lifestyle, don't live that way no more. So now our lights are burning and we're waiting, anticipating the imminent return of Jesus now. Amen. So that when he comes, we're prepared to go with him. That's good news, boy. Nobody said, oh, boy. That's good news for me. That's very good news for me, because I'm living in a life that don't love me. I'm living in a world that can't stand me because I've accepted Jesus. Amen. So now I have to look to the higher power that's on his way to come and get me out of all of this foolishness of this world. That's foolish that we would want a man that don't know if he's a woman and all this kind of stuff to walk in bathrooms. That's foolish. That's foolish that we would even support some foolishness like that. How in the world could we let that be, that this girl don't know if she's a man or a woman and all this kind of stuff? If you don't know, look at what gender God made you. Foolish life. But God is on his way to get those. See that? Those who are waiting on him. Ask yourself, am I waiting on God? That's the question. Am I waiting on God? I'm talking about a prepared people. Are you waiting on God, or what are you doing? Are you just going through the motions of life, just making ends meet, and as some say, from paycheck to paycheck type of? Are you living that kind of life, that life is living you that kind of way? Or are you living life in the expectancy of waiting on Jesus? No man knows.